If that don't get your attention, I don't know what will. Hey, how you guys doing? I am beyond honored for this, so thank you guys all so much for being here. This is freaking awesome. So thank you guys all for being here. We're just gonna get started. This is my second solo project. So it's Orchard of Daylight totem pole.
He's the carver now here at the Alaska Rainforest Sanctuary. He's going to explain to you what this pole is about.
So some of you guys probably heard that there's lots of meanings behind totem poles. This one's a story pole, and this is going to tell the origin story of our daylight. And the origin story of our daylight starts out, our whole world was in complete darkness. The only time there might be a little bit of light is if the stars were shining bright and it was a nice clear sky. Other than that, the whole world was dark. Raven was actually very troubled by how dark the world was. And he knew that our sky chief, we call him Wi-Sawaya-Laha, which translates to big chief of the sky, knew that the sky chief had the sun stored away in a bentwood box. So he came up with this plan to go back up to visit the sky chief. He went up to the mountains, found a hole in the sky where he put his raven skin on, flew up through the hole in the sky, went, and as soon as he got up there, he took his raven skin off, placed it down by the hole in the sky, went to the chief's house where he knew he had a river back behind his house. He went to the river because he knew the chief's daughter always went out there to get water to drink. So when he sat there waited for her, when she showed up, he transformed himself into a little cedar needle and dropped himself in the water. When the chief's daughter went to go take a drink, she drank it and drank Raven along with her. And she became pregnant with Raven. Not too long after, she gave birth to Raven. The chief was very happy by having a grandson. He spoiled him and gave him almost anything he wanted. He started crying and wanting something. He called it the humma. Nobody knew what that was. He kept crying over and over for a humma. Nobody knew what he was saying. So the chief asked his advisors, what is he saying? What is he doing? Nobody could figure out. Days and nights he stayed up crying, keeping everybody awake. Finally, one of the advisors could understand what he was saying. He wants the humma. The advisor told the chief, he wants the muh. He wants the bentwood box with the sun in it. So the chief told him, give it to him. So they took it down because it was hanging up in the corner of his house. He took it down and gave it to him. He'd play around with it, taking it out of the box, rolling it around, pick it up. He'd carry it to the door a few times. Finally, everybody was not worried about what he was doing. He grabbed the sun, ran out the door, ran out to where he was had his raven skin in the hole in the sky. His advisors looked at him, said, giant running away with the sun. They chased him. He came back down to earth where he came to where the Skeena and the Nass River, where our people are from, and he was running around with the sun in his hand. That's where he saw some fishermen fishing for oologans in their canoes with a net. He asked them, say, hey, throw up one of what you're fishing for. The fishermen laughed at him and scolded him. And he said, we're not going to give you anything, Tamsum. And that's where he got his name, Tamsum. Say, throw up one of what you're fishing for, or I'll break the muff. They're like, what is this you're talking about? Where did you get this? They called him a liar. Asked him again, give me one of what you're fishing for. He still said no. He said, if you don't, I'm going to break them up. They said, all right, ask one more time. Finally, they didn't give it to him, so he took the sun, broke it, and it released the sun to the sky. And when he did that, this big north wind blows through. And those fishermen happened to be frogs. The frogs blew, they were flying, they tried to seek refuge up on the mountain. And you guys ever feel the north wind blow before, how cold it is? No. So all these frogs got frozen to the side of the mountain up on rocks. And those frogs are actually still there this day. So because of Raven, or Tamsin we call them, is why we have our sun and our daylight today. And that's the origin story of our daylight. So.
Kevin just told me the story of the pole. With our people, there's always a dance that goes with this pole, a dedication ceremony. This is Kevin, he's going to dedicate his pole for you. I'm going to sing a song for you called the Carver's Dance. Story to share with you real quick. Very beginning of the tour season, I was working on that pole. This one was still sitting inside. Sorry, holy cow.
It was a chainsaw.
I was working on my log outside. I went inside. I still had the pole inside. I had a little old lady, a little grandma from Mexico. She had all her grandchildren there with us. And I was telling her about the ceremony for this. How we have a ceremony, we raise it, do a carver's dance, carver song, traditional singing, lots of food, drinks. She stopped me and looked at me like, you guys gonna raise a pole? I said, yes. You guys gonna have a party? I said, yes. Your uncle's going to sing for you? I said, yes. You're going to raise that pole? I said, yes. You're going to dance? I said, yes. You're going to do a pole dance? I said, yes. I will do a pole dance. So that was the pole dance.
So, I've been working with Kevin now for 8 years. 8 years. All these poles that we have around here. He came and helped me with it. I didn't do it all myself. You cannot do all this by yourself. You have to have help with one of the coolest guys around. Kevin Clevenger is my nephew. And there's another guy here who's the future of the carver. This pole, this is my first time actually seeing it up close. And I was hanging around for about a year, and finally I get to see it. That's a pretty awesome pole. When you're all done, I want all of you to come up and check that out.
So how is Hayden? Hello, how is everybody doing today? So I'm not Cynthia, I'm Haida. I'm from Heidelberg, and I'm Kevin Clevenger's little brother by respect. There's a lot of reasons I grew to respect Kevin Clevenger. We've known each other for about 10 years, over 10 years now. And the first time I met him, it was at his dance group's first performance at K-High. Throughout the years I got to know Kevin, I knew he was becoming an artist. I was there for a lot of years where he was learning from his uncle, but I never met his Uncle Wayne too many times. But let me tell you, only in 1978 did it become legal to practice our culture again. So everything you see in this park here, with all the totem poles that Kevin and his uncle have made, that hasn't been around for very long. We almost lost it. What you're witnessing today is the perpetuation of our ancestors' ways. Not only did Kevin carve this, he was taught by his uncle. And in our ancestors' way, that was the most traditional thing. We weren't raised by our parents, we were raised by our aunties and uncles. What we were taught was taught by them. Not only do I respect Kevin from the cultural aspect, but I respect him as a brother in arms. I'm a Marine Corps vet, he's an Army vet. And even though we come from different branches, different tribes, there's always been a mutual respect for each other. And not only that, because today is just about honoring Kevin, I can't talk about Kevin without talking about his wife or his kids. He does an amazing job. That's right. Kevin Clevenger is not just a warrior, he's not just an artist, he's an amazing family man. And I speak about that from no bias. I've watched him raise his kids for a lot of years, some of them since they were born. And growing up and getting to meet his wife the one time I got introduced by her to somebody, she introduced me as her brother. There's no blood ties between us, but they held me up in such a way so I couldn't help but want to be here. And then my brother, he asked me, will you sing a few songs? So today I'm going to share a few songs with you from the Haida Nation to honor Kevin and his family, because not only, as I said, is he an artist and a warrior, he makes sure his kids know who they are, as well as his wife. They're raising their kids in such a right way. Because of them, I know our culture will never die. And that's a huge thing to be able to say from a culture that was nearly extinct. So these two songs are for Kevin Clevenger. This first song is Yash Anadi. Yash Anadi is I'm a raven. Look at me, I'm a raven. It's in true raven, custom raven. In all three cultures is revered as a trickster, but also he is very proud of himself in a lot of ways. But Kevin is not as boastful as I've seen a lot of ravens to be. He's a very humble man in a lot of respects. He doesn't like to talk about himself, so I have to talk highly for him. He's an amazing carver. He's a warrior. He served his country, and he came back to make sure that his culture lived on, not just through himself, but through his children. And I can't speak highly enough of the man. So this is Yash Anadi, and because he won't speak for himself, this song is for him. Yash Anadi, Yash Anadi, hey, 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 ho. Yash Anadi, hey, 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 cedar and the things that we create. And for a lot of reasons, red cedar is chosen as the motif for a lot of our totem poles. People always speculate on whether it's the weight, its natural preservation qualities. It's because of this tree that we had houses. It's because of this tree we were able to preserve our food. It's because of that tree we were able to live in such intricate and beautiful houses. And it's because of that tree that our totem poles tell the story of our people. Anytime that we have a doubt in who we are, we can look at totem poles and understand a little bit more about our ancestors. And to see it still not just living now, but thriving and becoming something. And, you know, he took a log. Like, not a lot of people can do what he did and seen a story in it. And it's a beautiful story. That story is in some way or fashion integrated into the three tribes in this area, the Haida, the Tsimshian, the Tlingit, and the Haida. And because of that, like, that just shows you how close we are, but we all spoke different languages, that we all had different values and ways of life. And when I think of a proud Tsimshian man, I can't help but think of him. But again, when I think of Kevin, I think of one of the strongest warriors I've ever met. And in Haida Gwaii, where my people come from, we had to fight for our land. So they wouldn't clear cut all of our trees, take away our way of life. We weave it into hats, we weave it into baskets. We carve our stories on it in many different ways. We respect everything that we do, and it revolves around that tree. So when my people were about to have their lands taken away from them in an ugly way, and have all of our red cedars of Haida Gwaii on Long Island, Langara Island, they stood together. And they sang this song. It became known as the Haida National Anthem, and it's known as the Langara Island song, or Lyle Island song. But we use it in the Haida Nation now as a veterans respect song, because it was the time we all band together and we stood up for our ways of life. And Kevin's taken me under his wing in a lot of ways. I don't see him as just a friend or anything like that. He truly is an older brother. He's made this transition back home a lot easier for me. And because of him, I know things are just possible. He doesn't. These are my nieces and nephews because of him. He made sure that they called me uncle. And in our culture, that's the highest form of respect we can be given. Kevin doesn't understand the impact he has on the people around him. You never get to see yourself, just as a tree never gets to see itself unless a carver sees it too. But Kevin's a masterpiece. And every time he creates, it's a part of him. So everything he creates is a masterpiece, including his children. And because of that, I wanted to honor you with the Haida National Anthem here. You're one of the greatest warriors I've ever met. I want to thank everybody who came out to support my brother. It doesn't just mean a lot, you know, to him. It means a lot to our people to have people celebrate and lift our people up. Once one of us becomes lifted, we all elevate together. And to see him celebrating this day and to have known about this pole for a very long time, I'm excited to see it upright. And so that's the way a totem pole should stand. That's why we carved them. And to have such a powerful story told onto such a beautiful piece of wood is an immaculate thing to see. And it was only because of this visionary, this genius of art. He's a brilliant man, and he'll never accept that himself. But a lot of times he'll think he's got so much further to go, but we all do. That's the journey of becoming an artist, or anything that we do. So to see him do it, if nothing else, he should inspire everybody here today that whatever you think about, whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve. So I'm going to change stories from Kevin Clevenger.
In our culture, it's actually customary for this. So thank you. This is our Ad's rattle.
Nice.
This is for you.
Oh, wow.
Let's lighten things up a little bit.
Oh.
So I want to share a song with you guys. This is a fun song. This is a song up and down the northwest coast, and it's called the Oligan Gathering Song. It originally came from the Owikano people. And how the song is done, I'm going to have my nephews and my daughter and my sisters over here. They're going to help sing and they're going to help dance. All right, so the song is pretty easy. I'm going to ask all of you guys to be a part of this. This is the fun part. So in the song, as you're dancing, you're just going to dance in a big circle here. It's pretty simple. All you're going to be doing is you're going to be dancing in this circle. You're going to act like you're pulling in a net. And that's all you're going to be doing. And then you're going to act like you're in a canoe and it's going to tip. So in part of the song, it goes, yo, it tips to one side. Yo, yo, and everybody, hey! All right, it's a very fun song. So my kids, my nephews, and everybody, they're going to show you guys so everybody can get up. So let's practice this one real quick. So you're going to lean to one side. Yo, 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 hey! It's that simple.
Yeah, this is going to be lit.
So that one part, everybody does it. Yo, yo, hey! So it's a fun song. They're going to show you guys how it's done.
I'll just sing into the camera.
So you guys
love
can
this
follow
song.
these guys. Oh.
I'll hold it away from you guys.
Before
Sorry.
I go on, I apologize. I didn't introduce myself, and that was pretty rude. So I'm going to do that real quick. Samoyed, Sigma Hana'a, Analet Lex, and a honey stip newsome. Luke Willowam Godu Gatwin, Luam Godu Newell Nisisum, Nanam Gach Iwayu, and Hada Dual Hoaxku, Malakal Dual Watu, Gitchiskan Dual Jogu, and Sixel Godu Nua Alekanu Samelga. So I said, thank you guys for being here. My name is Kevin Clevenger. I'm from the Raven clan. I'm from Malakala, but I live here in Ketchikan. And my absolute favorite part of that whole thing is that Zixel Godu Nua Alekanu Samelga. I am proud and honored to be speaking my language today. So this is the Oligan Gathering song. All of them.
Yo, let's give them a big round of applause, son!
All right, there you go. Hoo-yeah, 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 hoo-yeah. Yeah, just follow these guys. Hoo-yeah, 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 hoo-yeah. Ooh, yeah! Hey, thank you guys very, very much for being here. Such an honor. Thank you.
All right, get him out of here.
All right, we're gonna do a group photo. If anybody can gather together real quick.
Good night, everybody. Amo boy.